it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video because we're finally getting to do one of the things I've been wanting to test out for a really long time, which is the HomeRight paint sprayer. If you've done any research on paint sprayers, you know that this HomeRight paint sprayer is one of the least expensive paint sprayers out on the market. A lot of people recommend Graco or Wagner paint sprayers. Those I find run up about $180 to $200 per sprayer, which is an investment if you've never really done this before or you're looking for something on a budget. And so after finding the HomeRight paint sprayer, the biggest question I had is, does it actually work? After reading the reviews for this one on Amazon, a lot of people are saying that this paint sprayer is totally fine as long as you read the instructions, it gets the job done. Other people say this totally sucks. I figured the only way to know for sure is just to try it. I mean, for $50, you can't really go wrong with this. If it doesn't work, then you know you've at least tried it and you can spend the money on a higher end model. So today we're gonna test this out. We have everything taped off behind me. I have all the baseboards taken out because I wanted to do the baseboards. I know that seems a little extravagant to take out the baseboards just to do paint, but I'm redoing the baseboards because I want new baseboards. And so we have everything ready and prepped for paint. We have this plain wall behind me. We also have this blue wall that we're gonna be spraying. So we'll see how this paint sprayer does on light colored walls. We'll see how this paint sprayer does on darker colored walls. If it evenly coats, if it doesn't evenly coat. I feel like this blue wall is really gonna tell us a lot about this paint sprayer in terms of coverage. Also, just a quick note, I have never used a paint sprayer in my entire life. So there's a first for everything, right?
Now, if you're a professional watching this video, it may seem pretty pointless to you. You already know how these things work, and you could probably tell me if this purchase is worth it. But this video is not for you. I want to know if an amateur can get decent results with this paint sprayer that is marketed as an entry-level tool for beginners.
So let's get started. Warning. Never point the spray gun at any part of the body. Never trigger the gun while adjusting the ears on the air cap. What are the ears? Okay, it doesn't tell me what the ears are. Do they mean gears? It says ears. Maybe like this little thing, like the nozzle? That would make sense because your hand's like right in front of it, maybe? Okay, all right, anyways, moving on. To prepare the material, stir the spraying material thoroughly. Unscrew the cup from the nozzle. After the material has been properly thinned and strained, fill the container to desired level. There's a little like asterisk thinning on thinned. For certain spraying situations or desired finishes, thinning the material may be desired. Make sure you adjust the material flow setting for your specific material needs. If thinning is necessary, use the proper solvent as specified by the material manufacturer. Never exceed the thinning advice given by the coating manufacturer. So, how do I know if the material needs to be thin? Info. Only thin the material if absolutely necessary to improve spray performance. Optimal spray performance should be achieved simply by adjusting the various controls on the unit. To me, that means let's try it without thinning and see what happens, and then we can thin it if we need to. Okay, primer first. And then we'll prime part of this blue wall, then we will rinse the sprayer and do the white on the entire room. This was a kitchen strainer. It's not anymore. Now it's a paint strainer. In here, so I'm just gonna pour the rest of it. Seems to be really thick. I feel like it should be thin to start, because unless I'm just using the wrong type of strainer. Okay, we're just gonna pour it in and see what happens. I feel like I don't have the patience for this strainer right now. Insert the suction tube into the intake opening. counterclockwise for less flow. Oh, I found the ears. You guys, I was right. These are the ears. For less flow. Generally, low material flow is needed for spraying smaller surface areas such as corners, lattice, or spindles. Turn the knob in or clockwise for increased flow. Generally, high flow is needed for spraying large surface areas such as fences and decks. Okay, well, I do have, oh, this just came apart. Okay, there we go. It's back together. No big deal. Okay, so note to self and to you guys, don't unscrew this little nozzle thingy. Don't unscrew it that far. Be careful when you are unscrewing. Use up and down or side to side spraying motion depending on the object being sprayed. Vertical pattern, use side to side motion during spraying. Horizontal pattern, use up and down motion. Let's try it. All right, so as you can see, it's kind of sputtering a little bit here, and I think it just needs to be thinned. So let's try that. Yeah, that's looking way better. Okay, let's try it on this side over here, and then I'll do a close-up for you guys. Definitely less splotchy than it was before. You can see how it is still a little bit splotchy, like right there at the bottom. I think that was because I was maybe tilting it downwards instead of upwards. And because of the way I have that nozzle in there, pulling up the paint, I have to hold it kind of more upwards. And so when I hold it more upwards, you can see it definitely is more even, a little less splotchy there. And I think that I'm gonna try a little bit less pressure and see if that maybe helps it be even less splotchy than that. And remember, this is just still the primer layer, so I'm not really going for super full coverage. And then I'm just gonna do half of this blue wall and see what happens with the other half of the blue wall without primer.
In the troubleshooting part of the instructions, it says if the pattern is very light or splotchy, there is not enough pressure. I tried both increasing and decreasing the flow to see if there was any difference. When I decreased the flow, the coverage was super light and splotchy. When I increased the flow all the way, the splotchiness was the same, but the paint kept spraying in patches despite constant pressure on the trigger. All right, so that is all the primer that I have. I'm going to rinse this out and we will switch to the white paint and see what happens. I have some water in here already. I'm going to put some of this white paint, stir it first. The paint that I'm using here is Benjamin Moore in Chantilly Lace. It is a paint and primer in one. It's working. It's kind of splotchy, but then like with the second coat it's fine. I don't really see
it dripping at all. Here though, it definitely, like, you can still see some of the blue through it. I mean, obviously the blue's such a darker color. So let's see what happens on the other walls here. So if I loosen this, there's like this little thing here, loosen this a little bit, don't have it super tight. That is giving me less splash. Just kidding.
As I sprayed these two walls, I continued to play with increasing and decreasing the flow, the trigger pressure, the distance from the wall, and nothing seemed to be affecting the coverage. You can tell much better from this video than I could even when spraying the wall. It's very uneven.
So you can see all these patterns in here. It's like, it's just not, I don't know if I'm spraying it too far away or if I'm gonna have to do 2 coats anyways. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, see, it's kind of like thick and goopy. It's not really dripping at all, but it's just kind of like thick, not a very fine texture on it, just still kind of splotchy texture. I don't know if this is what it's supposed to be.
At this point, I'm thinking I still hadn't thinned the paint enough, so I added some more water and tried again. This ended up making things even worse. You can see the paint literally dripping from the walls. I don't even know why I continued to paint the rest of the top of the wall after seeing that, but I did.
You can literally see this is so bad, all this paint dripping here. Literally, like the second I spray it, you can literally see the water like moving down. I think I'm gonna get a roller and try and roll this outside before it dries so I don't get these like nasty drip marks on the wall. Yeah, so definitely don't thin it too much.
After taking care of that mess, I decided to add more paint in and give it one last try. I had such high hopes for this sprayer. I kept thinking I just must be doing something wrong, but no matter how many adjustments I made, it just wasn't doing the job. After doing a second coat on the walls that had dried, there was barely any more coverage than there was after the first coat, and I decided I'd had enough.
After all that, those last few hours, I think that I'm gonna say pass on this HomeRight quick finish paint sprayer. This did not do what I expected it to do. It just left the walls a huge, drippy, messy mess. And with the past 3 or 4 hours that I spent doing this, trying to figure out the texture, figure out how the spray pattern worked, I feel like I could have just used a roller and gotten this entire room done in that amount of time. I don't think that this is worth the $50. I feel like this is advertised as an entry-level paint sprayer, and I don't feel like it held up to that description at all. I feel like this is just a mess. Honestly, I feel like I really can't even describe it as anything other than a mess. It's a mess in here, yeah. What I was hoping for was to spend a little bit of extra time kind of taping everything off and then being able to spray the room really quickly, have it dry, maybe put a second coat on by the end of today and have it be done. But I can tell that that's just not gonna be the case. The brush and roller method obviously works great. It's what everyone's used to, but I was just hoping for a little bit more of an effortless paint job. It took a lot of taping. Obviously with a paint sprayer, there's like so much prep that you have to do, and you don't have to do as much prep for a roller. Like using a paint roller, I wouldn't cover every square inch of this room in tape. I would just, block off the edges of the windows, edges of the doors, and things like that. You don't have to tape off every single part of this room. The overspray on this paint sprayer is horrendous. You can't really see it. I am covered in paint. Every inch of this room and these walls is covered in little speckles of paint. So I totally realized that when you are going to use a paint sprayer, there's going to be spray everywhere. Of course, that's like a given. But to have done all that work and to not get anything out of it with a paint sprayer that's just not working just feels like a waste of time. I think that if you would like to invest in a paint sprayer, spend a little bit more money, pass on this one, and go for one of the better models that are out there. So, that is it. I will leave you to that and try and finish painting the rest of the room.
Thanks for watching. I hope you guys can find this video helpful when trying to decide on a paint sprayer of your own. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.